welcome back to the gallery with me, the curator and host, Robert Cooper. For this episode, I have another interview with a young, up-and-coming photographer from the capital region of New York. Her name is Tyler Kyrie. She's a fashion photographer, and if you've been paying attention to the gallery, you will recognize her from episode 13. I interviewed her briefly for the 43rd annual Photo Regional of the Capital Region. Now, being that I am a huge fan of her photography and her creative use of angles, her unique and always intriguing photo locations, I thought it was only right to bring her on the gallery for a full and longer interview. So without further ado, here is my interview with Tyler Kyrie.
Okay, I am Tyler Kyrie, and I do fashion and editorial photography. Just about, I think I'm coming up on my 2-year mark this coming February. Well, it started, I was in college for business and I realized I wanted to be a creative director. So I switched my major to digital media and I had to take a photography class. And in that photography class, we had to purchase a camera, and I still wanted to really pursue creative directing. So I kept doing that, but couldn't find a photographer. So I was like, I'll just take the photos myself, and then never stopped, I guess. I would say mainly of people and fashion, but I think the main consistency through all of them would be like just crazy locations or just something editorial or unexpected is like the main strain of them. I would describe it as almost like, I don't really know. I think a lot of people tie it as mine because of the angles or like the dark gloominess of it. But I think if I had to describe it, it would be almost like editorial documentation, because I really like the rawness of like photo documentation and it not looking too edited and real, but also very fantasy. I just started shooting and playing around in Lightroom, and then I was like, I think I like this. Like, there was a really long time when I first started shooting where every photo shoot I did looked extremely different. Like, they all looked like different photographers' work. The editing was inconsistent, and I had no idea like what I liked. And then I finally one day edited a picture for like 2 hours and was like, this is what I feel connected with. And from there, that's when I stuck with that. Yeah, I mean, obviously me being a Black woman, and there was a little small time when I did like modeling, I guess, or I was on the other side of the camera, and I realized that a lot of the photographers were men, and a lot of friends I had that were also doing modeling didn't really feel, or just felt uncomfortable in that space. So when I took on the role of photographer, I really wanted to be the person who, one, they're seeing themselves on the other side, and they can trust me in the editing of their skin tone or what they want to see from the camera. And I just continue to photograph Black women and prioritize them. I don't think there's a difference in the way that they shoot them, but I do think I have heard a lot of experiences of just any man photographer, regardless of like the race, just making the model uncomfortable. And I feel like you can see that in some of the photographers' work, or just like, I've seen photographers have models like with their leg up on a fire hydrant, and that's like the photo shoot. So I think just like there's a difference between like a man who's just doing it because he has a camera and he can shoot people like that, or someone who really has that passion and they're really like getting into photography and that's just their subject of choice. I think just in general, like facing that disadvantage of like starting up and people recognizing you as a photographer, taking you serious compared to like, you know, a white person who has a bunch of money behind them to get all this gear and start shooting. And on top of that, a lot of times, if you're just seeing my name on paper, it reads as Tyler Kyrie, and a lot of times people confuse that to be a man with the name Tyler. So once I'm through that, I don't really think there's too many struggles. I think my work speaks for itself, so people trust that now. But in general, I think there is a lot of disadvantages for any Black person in any career with like comparing that to white people. Oh my gosh. Actually, last night I was going through a David LaChapelle book and I was just like, there's so many photographers I really like and I can't remember all of their names. I feel like I'm always finding a photographer that I'm like, this is some of the best work I've ever seen. And it's like, I need to keep a sheet of all of my favorite photographers. But I would say the one that really influenced me the most, and she also is a Black woman, is Rinelle Medrando. She's a photographer out of New York City who I would say specializes in photojournalism with like editorial and fashion. And her work really is what made me want to get into creative directing and photography. Currently working on a project, my biggest project yet. I haven't really done a project since almost last August would be my last big project, a full team, a bunch of models. And I'm currently working on a project that I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that it's basically 21 separate photo shoots in one project. Yeah, that's all I can say. Honestly, I think they really just come to me if it's like me watching TV and I'll see something. This one came from watching a movie and wanting to show that, but in modern life, and really like explore into the concept of that movie. But, you know, I found ideas just from like hearing the name of something and wanting, or a lyric in a song and wanting to like portray that visually. So really anything. I feel like it would depend if I was doing it in terms of like freelance and I could come up with the concept, or if it was a paid campaign where the concept is being brought to me. But I would really, really love to shoot Zendaya. I think she has amazing posing ability, and like almost seeing videos of her behind the scenes on a photo shoot, it's like she's almost like a professional model. So I'd really like to shoot her. I've done a photo shoot in a junk car yard where they take the cars and compress them. I've done them in, oh gosh, I'm like blanking. I've done them in art galleries. I've done them in random parks, a lot of parks. I've done them on construction sites in the sewers of New York City. I have done them on golf courses. I feel like I've done them everywhere, but I suddenly can't think of anywhere. Cars, I've done them in a lot of cars. Yeah. Honestly, I base it by the lighting. So if I know that it's really good direct sunlight with open field, that's probably my favorite location. But from past locations, my favorite location would have to be the African American Cultural Center. just because of how diverse each room is, and it's one building with so many different sets. Yeah, I definitely would say that the model that I work with the most often is Destiny Harris, due to just we've really built a good friendship over us shooting, and we met from doing modeling and photography, and we've really built a great friendship of that. She really trusts me and I really trust her. So any idea I have, she's down for it. Like at the drop of a dime, you know, like I can message her and be like, hey, do you want to cut your hair and put on, you know, this crazy outfit in an hour? And she's there. And, you know, I really trust her to implement the idea and take on whatever persona I'm trying to go for. So I would say definitely her for model. I've worked with a lot of hairstylists and wardrobe stylists like Larissa Lawson, Kayla Rooney, Marcus Mizell, and so many more. But I really feel like I'm at a point that I have a good base of community of people to collaborate with, and I'm really appreciative of it. I've been featured actually in a sports magazine for 1896 Golf. I've been featured in Vogue twice. I've been featured in Black Women's Photographers page and platform, and a couple of different blogs of like who to hire. I was on a travel blog the other day that I found myself on, which was interesting. I have been a part of the show at 518 Craft in Troy. I've been a part of the Youth Photo Regional at Opaka Gallery, and I have been a part of Collective Efforts Photo Gallery as well. I would say I prefer it of my own personal pictures on social media, I think just because I'm so used to that. And a lot of the photos that I haven't printed photos in a while, and the photos that I do have of print aren't the best quality of print, so it doesn't really compare to what you're seeing of like a raw image on a phone. But in general, I definitely would say seeing work in person and print means more to me than online. Like I just said, like last night I was reading through David LaChapelle book, and I was going through the photos in this book, and then I went online and I looked at the photos, and it didn't even look like the same photographer. Like I really think, especially with photographers who have been around for a while, it's really easy for their work to get like edited or just changed slightly and make it different on social media or once it's shared. So I would say print overall. Maybe even like my life story and just like showing my life in a very editorial approach in the same way that I do photography, and showing like what led me to my photography and where I am now. Maybe that. It's like where I would start and then what comes from that, or if there's one specific part of my life that I want to explore more, I would say. You can find me on Instagram, on Line, and on Facebook, and on LinkedIn, all at Tyler Kyrie, Kire.
Please make sure that you go and follow Tyler at all of her social media accounts, and also check out her website, tylerkyrie.com. And if you haven't already, and I'm talking to you out there, you who haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you will be informed of when I upload new episodes. In the meantime, make sure that you support your local photographers. And if you are a photographer yourself, go out and shoot something interesting and artistic. And this goes for everyone. If you have an art gallery nearby, make sure that you support your local art galleries. Visit the gallery when they have interesting photo exhibits or any other kind of visual arts exhibit happening there. make sure that you support all things art. I can't say it any more forcefully. Support Black art, support all art. I thank every last one of you for tuning into the gallery, and I hope you will all return. Until then, bless and love.